Morning, guys. So, in our last session, we have started discussing about RDS. So, did you get any chance to perform these tasks, guys? Is that went well? Any questions for me on previous session? No questions, all good. Guys, please respond.
I should tried the task it.
Okay. All right. So then, here in today's session, we are going to discuss another database option. That is multi-AZ deployment and replica. So for that, quickly, I'm going to launch a database RDS instance, and then I'm going to launch an EC2 instance, and I'm going to install Workbench. Here I'm an RDS navigating to DB instances. I don't have any database instance, so create a database. I'm going with standard create, and I'm going to select MySQL, and going with 8.0.20 version -2. So whenever you select this free tier eligibility, this particular feature is disabling, right? So I'm going to explain what exactly this feature is. So I'm not going to select free tier. I'm going to select Dev test environment. What is a DB instance identifier? MySQL database is a name I'm giving for this database. Master username is admin and master password is Avinash123. Right? Does not match. Okay. So then DB instance class, I'm going to burstable class, and I'm going to select previous generation classes also, and I'm selecting T2 micro. I'm selecting T2 micro here. By default, if this option is not enabled, it is going to show all T3 instances only. Why? Because T3 is the current generation, T2 is the previous generation. So latest type is T3, and I'm going to enable previous generation classes, and I'm going to select db.t2 micro. Okay, so then scroll down. Storage, I'm good with 20 GB. Storage auto scaling, I'm not going to enable this. And availability and durability, I'm going to enable this particular option. I'll tell you what exactly this is. So this database creation is going to take some time, right? So meanwhile, I'm going to explain this what exactly it is. So multi-AZ deployment, I'm going to enable. Connectivity, I'm going to choose connectivity like, my custom VPC. Public access, I'm going to give it no. And choose our existing security group. Yesterday in our last session, we created one security group, MySQL SG. I'm going to select that. And it is running on port number 3306, the database is. I'm going with password authentication and additional configurations. What is the initial database name you want to give? You can give any name. So my first database or my database or like, any name. First DB is the name I'm giving. Then scroll down, backup. If you want to enable automated backups, you can enable this feature. So what is the backup retention period you want to choose? You can go and you can choose the backup retention period. The maximum backup retention period is 35 days. Minimum is 1 day. Default is 7 days. So the only thing I can enable this, but if I enable this or database creation and all, it's going to take a lot of time. Just for that purpose, I'm not going to enable this. Otherwise, I don't have any issue to enable that. And I'm not going to enable enhanced monitoring. I'm good with basic monitoring. That's 5 minutes interval. Maintenance, I'm going to enable Automena version upgrade. Maintenance window, no preference, AWS is going to pick. Otherwise, you can go and pick, okay, I want to perform all maintenance activities on Saturday, morning 7 a.m. UTC for 1 hour. That you can select. If you observe, when I'm enabling this multi-AZ deployment, just observe. So I'm going to enable multi-AZ deployment and just observe the cost. It's 17.52 and 17.52. Why the second 17.52? Multi-AZ standby instance. Multi-AZ standby instance is going to cost us 17.52. Okay. So if you don't enable this particular feature, do not create a standby instance. If you scroll down to the bottom, see only 17.52. No additional 17.52. So whenever you are enabling this multi-AZ deployment feature, the cost is going to be double. Not for the storage, but DB instance cost is going to be double. Fine, let me click on create database. So I'm creating a database now. So it's started creating. So meanwhile, I'm going to launch an EC2 instance and I'm going to install Mysql Workbench. Actually, I have terminated our last instance. The instance I launched in our last session, I terminated that. Windows Server 2016 base and T2 micro. So then I'm going to choose my custom VPC, public subnet, public RTOS and public IP address is enabled. Storage is 30 gigs, and this is like is our jump server, or you can read it as like public subnet web server. Click on next. So I'm going to choose an existing security group, custom VPC SG. See, whatever the traffic coming on this 3306, it is navigating to custom VPC SG. How exactly we configured in our last session. So same setting I'm picking. Custom VPC SG, review, launching using an existing key pair. It's in running state. Okay, it's in running state, but as it is a Windows machine, so we need to wait for some time. So then only we can get the password for that instance. And here this RDSDB instance is creating. It's ready by this time. RDP client, grab public DNS, MSTSC, we have the public IP or public DNS, then default username is administrator and the password, get password, it's not yet ready. Okay, so I'm going to browse a key pair, decrypt the password, copy the password, give that here, click on OK. So then give yes, and we got connected to this EC2 instance. So again, quickly, I'm going to disable IEHC and I'm going to download Mysql Workbench and I'm going to install that. I'm opening Server Manager. Local server. Disable IEHC. Open Internet Explorer. Ask me later. Don't show this message again. Taking a new window. Navigating to google.com. MySQL Workbench download. Go to official website. Download. No thanks. Just start my download. And I'm going to run this. Okay, let's verify the DB status. It's in modifying state, and here is the credentials. When you click on view credentials details, this is the master username and master password. So this installation is completed, and I'm opening that application. So I disabled I disabled automatic backup. Still, it is taking this much time. So generally, if you enable automated backups now, it's going to take like more 20 minutes. So the backup copies it is going to create here that you can find under snapshots. So that snapshot creation it's a bit slow compared to EC2. So it's going to take a lot of time. So that's the only reason I have disabled that automated backups. However, tomorrow we will discuss about the backups. There I'll enable one and I'm going to show you that how we can restore from the database from that snapshot that we will discuss tomorrow. Guys, anyone completed EC2 quiz? No one is really interested about the answers, right? Okay, I'll share answers today in our Slack channel. Just cross check if you already ready with your answers. If you haven't answered, so please test your knowledge on EC2. This installation is completed and application is ready. So when coming to this multi-AZ deployment, so now, so you have a database DB instance. This is our DB instance. Within the DB instances, we have couple of databases. Now what is happening? So this is running in one of the availability zone. So this is running in one of the availability zone 1A or 1B it is running. So all end customers are getting connected to this. So this is your primary database. This contains a lot of information, right? Sensitive information and all. Now, if something happened to this database or entire DB instance, your application is going to down. Okay, and if something happened to this availability zone, or you're performing some maintenance issues while taking backup, you're expecting some latencies here. So in all these scenarios, if you have only one database, your application is going to down. So whenever you are enabling multi-AZ deployment, another copy of our database is going to run in another availability zone. So both are going to share the storage and all, and data is going to synchronize between both with a 0 millisecond lag. That's technically real time, but you can see only one database and both are going to contain same endpoint. The name is same, but technically in backend, two databases are going to run. Okay, I'll show you how to identify. So how it is going to switch over to another one? It switch over to another one automatically. If you want to manually switch over, for example, at moment your application is pointing to this, and if your application is pointing to this, so you want to reboot this. While rebooting, it will ask us, do you want to reboot with failover or reboot without failover? Based on that option, your traffic will continue flowing to this or to this. But for end customer, did he come to know about for what database it is going? No, right? Why? Because both are contain same name. And we don't need to choose any particular configuration for this. If you are selecting db.t2 micro, same db.t2 micro is selects here. If you are selecting T3 medium, same T3 medium is going to select here. That's the reason the price is going to double whenever you enable this particular feature. So this is a multi-AZ deployment feature. Now it is still modifying. So basically this is not for scaling. If you are getting lot of load on this database, for example, you are getting lot of load on this database, will this backup one take some load? No, it won't take. This is purely designed for disaster recovery purpose or high availability purpose. This is disaster recovery purpose or high availability purpose. Multi-AZ deployment. Simple. Another copy of our DB instance runs in another availability zone. See, it's in another availability zone, not in another region. This is a certification question. Not in another region. So just enable this feature. This feature is for HA and DR purpose, high availability and disaster recovery purpose, not for scaling purpose. Whenever you are getting lot of data on your primary one, it won't take. So I have a simple image for this scenario. I took that image from one of the AWS seminar. I attended one. So there I took this. I'll take you through. No need to worry about this. Yeah. So this is minimal deployment. So in our last session, what we did, we have taken a database and in backend it is going to contain 20 GB storage and all. This is our database. In one of the availability zone, your DB instance is going to run. When coming to high availability, that feature is multi-AZ deployment. So what is happening? This is availability zone A and this is availability zone B. This is availability zone A and this is B. Now this is a master database and this is by standby replica. So this master storage and the standby storage is going to synchronize automatically. So whatever the modification you perform, immediately the storage is going to share here, right? So when something happened to this, all traffic will get here. So what type we have selected? Did we selected any type? No. Same instant type as a master. That's why the cost is going to be double. This is multi-availability zone deployment. So how it is going to work? See, here some customers are there, some EC2 instances are there. At moment, all the traffic is coming to this DB instance and all. So it is the going to the primary one, master one. So when something happened to this, what happened? Automatically same, the name is going to be same. It comes here. It automatically comes here. So that is the images, official images from AWS webinars, right? So any questions on this multi-AZ deployment, guys? So it is available. So you might get a doubt, Avinash, how you are saying it is going to this particular instance and it is going to this particular instance? You might get the doubt. I'll show you. I have a very small network command that it tells what is the instance IP address in backend. By using that, yes, we can get that information. So now let me quickly get connected to this DB instance. Now, so this is the endpoint name. I'm going to pick that and I'm going to create a connection. So you can give any name. Multi-AZ test is the name I'm giving, connection name. Host name is nothing but our endpoint. Username is nothing but admin. Click on store in vault, then enter the password Avinash123. Then click on OK, then double click. So then we are going to get connected to the DB. So here you observe server status. All right, we got connected to this. Even you can go to dashboard and you can verify that whether you got connected, everything is fine or not. Okay, so now schemas. Whenever you navigate to schemas, first DB is there. All right, so everything looks good. Now I want to see, as I have enabled multi-AZ deployment, I want to see what is the databases. To what availability zone one this is going. So for that, I'm going to open command prompt, ns lookup, then giving this. So at moment, when I am doing ns lookup for this particular DB instance endpoint, it is showing 192.168.242.178. So let me take a notepad. So this is DB instance 1 IP address. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to reboot this. I'm rebooting this. I've selected this actions to reboot. Here is a reboot option. Click on reboot. Now, what do you want to do? Do you want to reboot with failover? Reboot without failover. This option is always a bit confusing. So I'm going to select reboot with failover. So what happened? Both the instances, whenever we select this reboot with failover option, both the DB instance are going to rebooted and traffic will go same. So uh, let me select this reboot with failover. Click on confirm. It always confuse me. So it is rebooting. Okay. So now wait for a minute or two, then run this command again. Then see where the traffic is going. So we can even get the another instance is running in backend, right? So we can get the IP address of that one. So 192.168.242.178 is allocated to one of the subnet. You can navigate to VPC. You can check further in what subnets. So 192.168.242.178. So 242, it comes here. It is running in this particular subnet, public subnet. No, 242. I think it's running here only. without any public root it is running. So let's wait and let's try to run this. So now see, the name is same. The name is same here. Earlier the same name and here also same name. But the IP address earlier we got 242.178, but this time 253.202. So in backend, other database is running, DB instance is running. So this is another DB instance. So if you select this particular feature while rebooting, so I selected this feature right in a minute back. So if you select this feature, while the primary DB is rebooting, all traffic will go to the secondary one. All traffic will go to the secondary one. So again, if I reboot, then the traffic will go to again this particular DB instance. So technically, both servers are giving responses, but are we using IP address? Just to show you, okay, we have two DB instances, I am running this, but we know that we are going to get an endpoint name. By using that endpoint only, we are going to connect to our database. So technically same endpoint, but in backend, two DB instances are running. Okay, so if something happened again, that redirection to another one in like whenever availability zone failure and all, that AWS will do automatically. If you want to switch over, you can use this reboot feature, then reboot with failover, it goes to another one, right? So that is a multi-AZ deployment feature, and you can definitely expect a question on this in your certification exam. Only two important topics on this RDS: multi-AZ deployment and read replica. These are the two very, very important topics. Now, I'm open to all your questions. So any questions on this multi-AZ deployment?
So Avinash, here you're rebooting the main instance, right? What if I stop it? Then the traffic will go to another instance, or would that stop completely?
Stopping, it's going to stop. Basically, it's going to stop both the instances.
Okay. Okay, fine, fine.
Hi, Avinash. Avinash, can we convert a single AZ to multi-AZ after creating an instance?
Yes, of course, we can do that. We can modify the DB instance and we can do that. I'll show you. For example, now this instance is enabled with multi-AZ. I decided to disable this feature. So in that case, we can modify. So then whenever we are modifying, so then it will give the options. So basically it's in rebooting state. That's why it won't allow for a minute or two. But yes, you can modify and you can disable or later on also you can enable this feature if you already have a database.
Okay. But suppose you have the RDS SQL instance and it's previously it's created in the web editions, and but the multi-AZ only support to standard edition and the express edition. So is it possible then the single AZ to multi-AZ?
See, if the DB is supporting, definitely we can enable. So you're talking about MS SQL.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, we have some limitations with MS SQL. That is a known thing actually. So Express Edition, whenever you're taking Express Edition, so basically it is free for everyone. You don't need to purchase any license. Even you can install in your own laptops and all. So whenever you're taking that, so you see here, we don't have that option. So do we have multi-AZ option here? Why? Because Express Edition won't support that. But whenever you're
Multi-AZ only support to standard and enterprise edition, correct?
yes, exactly. So if the DB engine is supporting, definitely yes. Otherwise, there is no option to. Here we have multi-AZ deployment, yes, or you can set it to no. Okay, it's an available state. So now go back and just try to rerun. So again, from 253.2022 2032, it is going to 242.178. Again, this one. So always it goes between these two only. What option you are selecting that? If you, while rebooting, if you don't select this option, both the databases, both the DB instances is going to reboot. Right. So whenever you want to, like, as you have someone raised this question, I'm going to modify this database. And here, if you forgot the master password, you can define the new master password, but it is going to take a lot of time. And I used to forgot my password many times. So that's why I fixed a standard password when I'm teaching this database. No, that is Avinash123. I always go with that password. Right. So if you want to change the DB instance class, you can go and you can do that. For example, from T2 micro, I want to upgrade it to db.t2 small. I'm selecting it. So then storage, if you want to increase, this is the option we have. While modifying, you need to, now you can disable, do not create a standby instance, or you can enable this. So then we cannot change VPC, guys. This is very, very important. In interview, you can expect this question. So once your RDS instance got launched, can we change the VPC? Once your EC2 instance is launched, can we change the VPC of that instance? Answer is no. Not even for EC2 instance, DB instances. If you want, what you can do, you can create a snapshot. From that snapshot, you can create a new database. While creating, you can choose new VPC. Technically, both are same, but the same instance, we are not modifying, we are not changing any VPC. So changing VPC is not possible. So then scroll down. Then whenever you are trying to confirm, see, I told you maintenance window. So now this is the modification we perform. What is the current value? It's db.t2 micro. What is the new configuration you want to take effect? db.t2 small. Okay, now when do you want to apply these changes on your database? If you select apply immediately, yes, immediately our database is going to down for some time and these changes are going to applicable. Otherwise, apply during next scheduled maintenance window. When is the next scheduled maintenance window? It's on April 10th. Why on April 10th? Why? Because I selected Saturday. I selected Saturday morning. So it got converted to IST time zone, UTC plus 5.5. So at Saturday, 12:30 to 1:30, during this particular maintenance window only, these changes are going to take an effect, not immediately. So that is what maintenance window is. So weekly, whatever modification you want to do, you can do the modification, but do not click on apply immediately. Select next maintenance window. When maintenance window comes, just monitor instead of, like, going and modifying all those things. Where we can find the changes pending, navigate to maintenance and backup, scroll down. Do we have any pending maintenances? For example, I applied one change. I applied one change and it is going to take an effect on this Saturday 7 to 8 UTC time zone. So what are the changes it is going to? Here we can find. So sometimes we applied, like, we decided to apply these changes at next maintenance window, but you decided to apply immediately. Then select and we have apply now. You can click on that option. So click on apply at next maintenance window or apply now. We have these options, right? So that is a maintenance window importance. Now I'm going to talk about AWS another DB feature, that is read replica. Before enabling that feature, just observe the role. It is an instance. So at moment, the role is, it is showing as instance. And do we have anything here under replication? replication only one. Okay, so now I'm going to create read replica for this. So I'll enable that feature. So then we will discuss what exactly it is. So I'm selecting this database, actions. Come on, oh, where is that read replica feature? Read replica, it's not enabled. Why? Oh, come on. Oh, I think we should enable automated backups for that. So let me do one thing. Quickly, I'm going to create a database. Create database. I'm going to select MySQL and free tire. Read replica test is the DB instance name. Admin password is Avinash123. This is a problem with database. Whenever you are creating any database, it's going to take a lot of time. db.t2 micro, general purpose SSD. I'm not going to enable storage auto scaling, multi-AZ not enabled. And I'm going to run this in my custom VPCs, public accessibility no, and I'm going to choose existing security group, availability zone. I'm going to run it in AP South 1B. It is running with port number 3306 and initial database name is test DB I'm giving, and backup I'm going to enable automated backup. And then I'm going to select a backup window. So it's going to happen at 12 a.m. for 1 hour, and not enabling enhanced monitoring. Auto menu version upgrade, yes. Maintenance window, I'm giving that option to AWS. Then create a database. Okay. So what I will do, I will delete this existing one. This multi-AZ is going to cost me. That is the reason. Apart from that, nothing. So I can modify and then I can do that, but it is going to take a lot of time. So that's why I created a new one. So I'm not going to create any final snapshot. I acknowledge that, and I'm going to give delete me, then click on delete. So that existing database is going to delete, which is enabled with multi-AZ. It is deleting. It is deleting, and another copy is creating. So meanwhile, we will discuss what exactly this read replica is. So when coming to this read replica, so you have a database. So let's assume this is your primary database. So here multiple applications, multiple EC2 instances or load balancer, everything is connecting to this. Okay, so this is the master copy. So what is happening? This database instance is getting heavy traffic. It is getting read operations and write operations at moment. It is taking. So this database is taking a lot of load. So now, I want to reduce some load from this DB instance. So what I can do, I can offload all these read operations to different DB instance. Write operation I want to perform with the primary one only, but this particular read operations, instead of performing read and write on same DB, if we offload some read operations to different database, what happened? The load is going to reduce on this primary database or master database. So now, so it supports read as well as write. But what we are going to do at application level, if it is a read operation, okay, point to this particular database. If it is a write operation, okay, point to this particular database. So that at application level, we need to configure. So now at moment as it is taking read and write, I'm going to create a read replica for this. This is a read replica. So whatever the write operation you perform here, immediately it is going to replicate here. What modification you're performing it here, immediately it replicate here. If you delete something here, it deletes here as well. But it supports only read operation. And are we going to have same endpoint name? No. Different database endpoint and different database endpoint. So how we are going to segregate what is read operation and what is write operation? So that at application level only we are going to do. In simple, you went to a website for the first time and you have a sign up button and sign in login button. So sign up, we need to provide our information and we need to provide a username and we need to give the password, and those all information is going to store in the database. So it comes under write operation. We are giving the information, database is storing the information. So in that case, okay, update the tables here. The same information, whatever the information is updated table, that information is available here. Now, whenever he sign in, then he went to a different login page. For sign up page, okay, point to this database. For sign in, point to this particular database. So then he need to give username and password. The request comes and it is validates. Is it updating? Definitely no. It is verifying. Is that username and password is valid? If it is valid, then point to subnet database and all. Like it verifies and it if it is a valid, then land to that application and all. Right. So based on that operation, what operation we are going to perform, either read operation or write operation, based on that we need to decide. Can we create a read replica? We already have a read replica. Can we create another one? Yes, we can create another read replica. You can even create a read replica for a read replica also, but we need to watch out for the latencies, and only some instance type this feature supports. So why we need to watch out for latencies? Why? Because whatever modification you perform here, it need to replicate here first, then it need to replicate here. So you might get some latency. But for one primary database, you can create multiple read replicas also. You can create. So at some point of time, if you decided to promote this read replica, you don't want to continue this replication anymore. You don't want to continue this replication anymore. Yes, we do have an option to break down this replication. We can promote this as an individual instance. We can promote it as an individual instance. So, okay, this is backing up. The backing up means in backend, it is going to create a snapshots. Here you observe one snapshot is creating. So did we initiated this creation? Yes, while launching our database, whenever we enable automated backups, automatically snapshots is going to create. So it's 99% completed. I still don't know why. This is empty only, but it is going to take a lot of time. See, whenever it is empty or whenever we are creating for the first time, so it should happen bit quickly, but it's going to take a lot of time. And even after this also, we need to create a read replica. Once it got ready, then we need to create a read replica. That also will take some time. So this is an endpoint. So let me delete that existing endpoint here, or you can have it. Plus read replica. Host name is this. Username is the admin. Test connection. 123. Save password invalid. If you don't want to enter that always, then give a double click and we got connected here. And schemas test DB is there. Okay. So yesterday I asked you to import one schema here. So is that success, guys? No difficulties, right? So whatever the one I shared, this is the one I have shared. So this contains one sample DB. So this one you need to copy to Jump server. So now go here, data import or restore, import from self-contained file. Where is your file? You can just go and you can select that and import it.
I think there is an import progress tab.
Import progress, it will, okay, start import. Yeah. We should get start import here if you scroll down, but my cursor is not working. Yeah. So it got imported. Whenever you go to schemas, give a refresh. There you can see this is some database. So when you expand, you can find tables, customers, employees, offices, orders, payments, everything you can find. So yeah, so that is one I asked you to perform. And this one is ready. Our database is ready and it's in available state. So now, still, why? Did they stop supporting db.t2 micro? Okay, now it's first. So okay, so here is my database and I'm going to actions and create read replica. So now you can click on this create read replica, but before that I've shown you what is the role it is showing at moment. The role is instance and the replication, no replication, only this one. Replication bracket you have only one. So now pick this database, navigate to actions, create read replica. Click on create read replica. So now this read replica option similar to our DB instance options only. What is a replica source? Read replica test is my source. So then what is the name you want to give for this replica one? You are creating a replica copy for that existing database, right? So what is the name you want to give? So replica -1. Okay. So then in what region you want to? Yes, this replica copy, if you want, you can run it in different region also. I'm going to choose Mumbai only. For this replica copy, what is the database instant type you want to? db.t2 micro, be within free tier limitation. So always select db.t2 micro. General purpose SSD. And is it asking us to choose the storage? No, it is not asking us to select the storage. Why? Because how much storage this contains, similar storage, it's going to pick here. So it won't ask us. Not enabling storage auto scaling. Availability and durability. Do you want to enable multi-AZ for this? For read replica for high availability purpose. So if do you want to enable? So then you can select it. I don't want to. So then what security group? It is going to pick same security group of that existing one, and availability zone we can pick or no preference. Password authentication and monitoring. Do you want to enable encryption? Then you can select the what encryption key you want to use. For that replica monitoring, what do you want to do? You want to enable basic monitoring or you want to go with the enhanced monitoring? Logs auto miner version upgrade for this read replica. Then click on create read replica. So now one read replica is going to create, and just observe here the role got changed. Earlier, what is a role? It is a instance. But now, what is the role? It is a primary. And another DB instance we got, right? So what that another DB instance is showing? It's showing as a replica. So from the primary one, whatever the modification you are going to perform, it's going to replicate here. So both are will be in sync. So whenever you scroll down here, now see, earlier replication only one, but see, whatever the modification you perform in primary, it will come to this replica. And how much lag is there while copying the data from here to here? How much lag, that you can find it here. And I think I have some images for that as well. No, that not covered. Yep, here it is. Read replica. No much things covered related to read replica here. No much things related to read replica in that particular seminar actually. So this is the diagram for that read replica mechanism. So once this read replica creation is completed, once this is ready, then we can get connected to it and we can verify how much data we have, same data we have here or not. And we will try to create one schema here. Is it replicated here or not? We can verify that. And we will try to create one schema here. And is that success or not? These things we are going to test once this got created. If you want to create another read replica for this primary, yes, you can go to actions, create read replica, then you can create. So you can create multiple read replicas also for this. You can create multiple read replicas also. Okay. It's creating. So meanwhile, let me explain you a task. Okay, the task is, so I want you to take 6 subnets within a VPC, 2 public subnets, 4 private subnets. I'll share a sample script, a small script where you can deploy a small WordPress website. So I want you to create a MySQL database here, RDS, MySQL RDS here. So then I want you to launch one web server either here or in here. My requirement is this should be private subnet. This should be private subnet. And this one public subnet. Okay. So now this web server, again, I want to make it as a web server. So I want to install some commands. I want to download and I want to install some from the internet. For that, you need a jump server or you need a NAT gateway or NAT instance. Where it is going to run? It's going to run in public subnet. So I want you to launch NAT that provide internet here to these particular subnets. So then I want to make it as a web server. I want to get connected to MySQL and all. How I can do that? I want to get connected to it. I want to execute some commands. How I can? So by using jump server only. So I want you to launch one jump server. Okay, by using the jump server, connect to web server and connect to MySQL. Okay, so then I want to. So now whatever the web commands I'm going to give, execute all the commands here. So that will make this easy to instance as a web server. Once it become as a web server, so in initial steps, it required is that RDS task script. So I want you to launch Amazon Linux 2 here. Launch Amazon Linux 2 here. Install all these commands. So what this is going to do, it is going to download, it is going to install HTTPD, MySQL PHP tools. It is going to install PHP 7.3. It is going to download a sample WordPress template and we are going to unzip that. And whatever the unzipped one, we are going to copy to var www.html. Then we are going to remove that unzipped files. Then we are changing permissions of the content. We are making Apache as a owner for this WP content folder. Then start the service and give chkconfig httpd on. Once you perform all this installation here in this web server, now go to this jump server web browser and give this web server private IP address here. Give jump server private IP address here. So then what happens? It will show you initial WordPress page. Initial WordPress setup page. It will take you through this particular page. Okay, you will land into this page. Whenever you click on let's go, it will take you to this particular page. Now you need to give database name. Whatever the database, first DB or whatever the one you have given. So if you forgot, you can go to configuration. Whatever the DB name you have given, you can give it. If you forgot, get connected to that, create a schema. Whatever the one, test DB, you can give that. Here under test DB, username is admin, password is Avinash123 in my case. Database host, give the endpoint. And when you click on submit, then it will try to create a file called wp-config in this web server var www.html path, and it won't create. Of course, it is going to give an error. So it will show you what script you need to create there. So just read the instruction clearly, copy everything, create wp config file within this web server under var www.html path. Now, after creating that file, click on get started. Then you will land into this particular page. So that means your web server is able to communicate with RDS DB instance without any issues. To test this again, whatever this security group you are using for jump server, same security group you use for web server, and test the connectivity from here, then you can test the connect. If you are able to connect here successfully, then you can connect here also successfully, as you are using same security group. I want you to go with the security group mechanism only, right? So then perform this initial what is the username you want to give. This is WordPress admin username, WordPress admin password, and your email address. Then install WordPress. It will take a couple of minutes, then it is going to ask you to log in. So then you should get that web page. So then what you can do, whatever the web server you're getting here, that web server, if you want to deliver it to outside world, so then you can run an elastic load balancer, map that load balancer to this web server and deliver it to outside world user. Now I have another requirement that this web server should get into S3 access. As you have NAT, you might get directly, but I want you to create one endpoint and associate that endpoint to this web server, and it should get access to S3. Why I wrote S3 out of this black color box? S3 doesn't require VPC. It run outside the VPC. That's why it run outside this. Okay. So this is the task. And I'm sharing the script. Can you guys do this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So only thing you might experience an issue whenever you click on submit, it will try to create a WP config file. I have told you what you need to do. Then after come back and click on run again. So then you should land into this page. Here you can give your own password, right? So that is the task for today. All right. So the read replica got created here. This is primary and this is a replica. Okay. So now I want to connect to this replica. I already connected to the primary one here. Then go to home. So then get the replica copy information, mainly endpoint, grab the endpoint, click on new connection, replica, then grab the host name 3306. See, while creating this replica, did we give any username and password? No. Why? Because whatever the one you have given from primary, same. Test connection, give the password, and okay. So now we connected to replica. So this is the primary one. This is the replica copy. Now, if you go to schemas in replica, we have these two, right? So I'm navigating to this primary copy and I'm creating a schema. Click on create schema. So test 123 is a name I'm giving. Apply, apply, finish. Where we created here under primary, we created. Navigate to replica, give a refresh. See, we got it. Create another one. I'm creating another schema, given some random letters, apply, finish. So it got created. Go back to replica, give a refresh. See, we got it. Or you can even drop. For example, I want to drop this. Go here, then drop schema, drop now. Then go back here, give a refresh. See, here also it got dropped. So whatever the modification you're performing in the primary, the same thing is going to replicate to read replica. Okay. Now I want to create something in this read replica. For that, give a right click, create schema. What schema? Replica something, random letter, then apply, apply. See, it is not able to. Why? Because this MySQL is running with -- read only option. So only read option can execute within this, not the write operation in this replica. So this is a read replica option. And in future, you don't want to continue this replication, you want to break down this replication. So in that case, first we need to verify what is the replication lag. There is no lag here. See, it is replicating from primary to here. The replication state is replicating. Do we have any lag? No. So then we are good to promote this. So to promote this, navigate to your replica copy. When you navigate to actions, we have an option called promote. So immediately what happened? This is primary and this is replica. This is master and this is slave technically. So both will become as an individual instance. So we are making these two as an instance. So when we make both as an instance, what happened? So it is going to perform. This also supports its own read and write operations. So for that, navigate to actions, promote. While promoting, do you want to enable automated backups? And what is the backup retention period? When do you want to take the backup? You can select that, then click on continue. So this promotion is a irreversible process. Once you break down this replication, you cannot re-establish it again. Of course, if you want to create another replica, you can definitely go and create another replica for those, but same replication we cannot enable. So click on promote replica. So now what is happening? These two will become as instances. So it is going to modify. So then the connectivity process and all same, then you can perform whatever you want. Right. So that is all about read replica. So read replica is for scaling purpose, multi-AZ is for disaster recovery purpose. For scaling purpose, multi-AZ is for disaster recovery purpose, and we can create replica copy another region also, right? See, this is modifying, so it is going to change the status in some time. All right, so any questions for me on this, guys?
Avinash, when we set the backup timing, like the 1 hour time duration, so every 1 hour it will update the backup image.
I didn't get that question. Can you please repeat that?
So, in the RDS have the options for the backup windows. Okay, so if the we set the time for the one hour, so every 1 hour it update the snapshot.
No, no, no. It's not for every 1 hour. That window, maintenance window, we are taking for 1 hour. That backup operations and all is going to take effect within that 1 hour. See, for example, I want you to perform something. How much time I can give it to you? For example, I'm giving 30 minutes. So you can do it either in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but that operation should complete within 30 minutes. Similarly, I am asking Amazon to take a backup copy on Saturday morning 7 o'clock. From 7 o'clock to how much duration I am giving? From 7 to 8 o'clock. Either it might happen exactly at 7 or 7:30. If Amazon detect any operation is happening on the database, it will wait for 7:30, then it is going to perform. So during that period, the backup operation is going to happen. Right?
There is the two options. One is the backup window and one is for the schedule maintenance. Okay.
Yes.
So backup window means what exactly? What is the duration of this backup window? It have the 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours is there, correct?
That how big is our database depends on that we are going to choose, and it is going to use incremental backup only. So that means whatever the changes happens on previous backup only, those changes are going to backed up in latest snapshot. So 1 hour window is too significant for that.
Incremental backup is taking. Right?
Yes. When coming to maintenance, I've shown you that some time back. If you perform some modification, do you want to apply immediately or you want to take that changes in next maintenance window? So that is a maintenance window. Backup is for just for backup operation. Maintenance, you decided to change this instant type, you decided to change the password, you decided to change the security group, or all those things comes under maintenance.
But in maintenance time, the RDS it rebooted or it's reload the configuration.
Based on the option you're selecting, if you're migrating from db.t to micro to t to medium, so then definitely it's going to stop and it's going to. So within that maintenance window, one thing is clear: end customer is going to get difficulties to access the database.
Okay.
So that's why even in our organization, we are going to get emails, right? Maintenance emails. So your server is going to be, even for if you're taking net banking also, for example, if you take SDFC, they will send some messages, okay, we are upgrading our systems, you might face difficulty, or net banking is not going to work within this duration. That's a maintenance window. Right, so now it is instance. So what you can do, once it becomes as an instance, so you can just refresh and you can create schema, and now it supports. So now it's supported. The reason is it becomes as a individual instance. So there is no replication between these two now. Can we enable replication between these two again? No. But if you want to create another replica, yes, you can go and create here. You can create for this one. But the breakdown replication we cannot establish again. Right. So that's it for today's session, guys. So
Read replica means instead of the multi-agent, we can use this option, correct?
read replica is for scaling purpose. Multi-AZ is for disaster recovery purpose. Right, I have deleted KMS one page. I have deleted KMS yesterday, and I'm changing with 3. Yes, it is going to cost us. So you cannot delete immediately. Basically, you need to schedule the deletion with 7 days minimum, and just observe your billing. You won't get charged. So yes, you can definitely call to Amazon. You can raise a ticket with them, and they will definitely help you. So raise a ticket under billing category. So then you can choose chat or you can phone. So definitely they will help you with that. All right. So don't keep any resource in running state. So please terminate and take some time and try to perform the task, guys. Thank you. See you again tomorrow.